Callbacks provide working solutions, but there are a few issues with the callback approach. One is that it is not intuitive, and let's see what happens if we try to refactor this code to make a function that will be more generic. So instead of double the values, let's have a function handle data, which will take a data parameter and a callback parameter, and it will be iterating on the data. And in the for each, we will be passing this synchronous callback from the parameter list as an argument. And this function, let's have it on its own, and we can call it log the double, since this is what it does. Save this. So we have broken this double the values function to two different, more flexible functions. We can remove it and save, and we can try and use the handle data function with the array and the log the double function. Run this, and we get the doubles of the array of our data. Now, in order to use fetch data, we need to modify it as well, in order to have this function calling with the array of data and log the double. So this call in fetch data will be callback to data and to a second method, to another callback, since we have to pass functions like log the double to handle data, which will be the callback. And in the list of parameters, we also have to pass the other callback. So let's call this CB, and this is its call. And now we can remove this and call fetch data with the array, with handle data, and with log the double. Save this, run this, and we're fetching the data, and we're logging the doubles. It is still not intuitive, and now it seems rather confusing. And so far we only have one asynchronous transaction simulated. If there are more consecutive asynchronous operations, then we end up to more confusing situations. I will paste in some code and review it fast, just for demonstration of this expansion to this code. This is the expanded code example. We have the log the double function like before, and the handle data function. Just added some more logs to make it more clear where we are at code execution. There is one more function. All it does is reverse the order of the array elements, but it is passed through a set timeout, so it is as if this is happening in a far server as an asynchronous operation. And the fetch data, which is also changed, because we have to call the function similar to log the double from handle the data, then reverse data, which takes some data, reverses it, and uses them in another callback, has to have this call matching the handle data call. So this reverse parameter matches the data parameter, and the CB2 callback here matches this CB, because we also have another callback, which is the one called from reversed data. And expanding this scenario, we have data and a callback here, data and two callbacks in reverse data, and now for fetch data we will have data and three callbacks, the one called here, the data parameter, the first callback, and the second callback, so that this call now matches the reverse data definition and parameters. So the more functions that we add to the chain, the more the changes that we have to apply to fetch data and to many of the other functions. This is not very manageable, it is a bit confusing. So to handle such situations and other situations where we had nested functions referred to as callback hell, to handle those situations, different mechanisms were developed, such as promises. which provide improved solutions for such scenarios with chains of asynchronous function calls.